Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian. It's great having you back with us. If you were to ask the Prime Minister, he'd tell you that Bahamas Power and Light has been embarrassing the country for many years. This following that island-wide blackout in the capital last Friday night, which BPL says was due to a transmission network failure. Dr. Minnis says his government will not continue to kick the can down the road, but will do what is necessary for the country, even if it's cost his party to lose an election. He added that a reduction in bills for consumers in New Providence would mean a major increase for the bills for family islanders. He insisted his government is correcting the problems at BPL to prevent blackouts for future generations. Last week, Parliament passed the Rate Reduction Bond Bill 2019, which is expected to increase electricity bills on average by $20 to $30 per month for a 10-month period and raise more than $600 million for the power giant. The Union of Public Officers once again walking off the job this morning as they say the deadline for their industrial agreement to be complete has passed and no progress is being made. Our BJ McDermott was there and has this report.
Holding signs reading "Together we stand" and "Enough is enough," union members chanted and sang in solidarity.
Are y'all ready? Yeah! Are y'all ready? Yeah! Who's our problem? Director! Who got to go? Director! Who got to go? Director! Who's our problem? Director! Brainstorm got to go! 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 Brainstorm got to go!
According to Union President Guion Roach, the deadline for their new industrial agreement was November 30th, and upon arriving to work this morning, they discovered that there still was no resolution to the issue. This as the union walked off the job this past Thursday and Friday over stalled negotiations over the industrial agreement. Since their first walkout this past Thursday, the union president says he has had no communication with the minister responsible, Brenzel Roll, or any of the board members.
The deadline was for the contract to be completed. We went back to negotiations on the 5th. We stalled and we have not been in negotiations since the 8th. And so the 30th has passed, the deadline is over. And so we will continue to do what we have to do.
In a statement, the National Insurance Board said management is projecting a sizable deficit between contributions, income, and benefit payments consistent with actual projections for the National Insurance Fund. It added that management has sought to prudently manage NIB's resources by slowing the growth of administrative expenses while preserving the staff complement. To that, the union president said this.
I can't speak to the finances of the board, but I know the talk, at least what was stated in their press release that was released, was that we are seeking to raise administrative costs by some exorbitant amount. The fact of the matter is we just want to keep some of the pay increases that we have always enjoyed. And that's it. We're not asking for any additional raises, any extra percentages. We want to keep what we already have.
Now the union is in possession of a strike certificate, which they say they are saving as a last resort. Reporting for JCN News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Well, Minister of Public Services and National Insurance Brenzel Rolls weighing in on the industrial action taken by National Insurance Board workers. He says protesting will not bring forth an agreement, as he says that's not the way negotiations are done here in the Bahamas.
We negotiate in good faith. I gave them a commitment. They did not live their part of the deal. Now it's back to me. I don't know how that's possible in the Bahamian context. They protested 3 days before. So if we had a deal for a certain date and a certain time, and you go out and protest, then that means you have another motive, and I can't measure your motives, and I suspect those motives cannot be professional. They must be something other than professional.
And to claims that the union was unable to get in contact with the minister, Mr. Roll had this to say.
I spoke to the president. I was in France. I spoke to the president on Tuesday. Told him to meet with my negotiator. He did not give me any impression that he was trying to reach me at all. And I called him to ensure that there was meetings were going on. So, you know, I don't use politics or engage in political theater to cause things to happen. I've been honest and fought right with the union, and And if this is how they want to play the game, that's on them.
NIB says in the current negotiations, the board has agreed to monetary increases in almost every category of staff benefits, including monthly mileage allowances, acting and responsibility allowances, and the introduction of new financial benefits. There have also been increases to the performance-based Christmas bonus, which is paid irrespective of the financial performance of the board. NIB offers an attractive salary and benefits package to its staff, inclusive of health insurance and a staff pension plan. Well, Atlanta's president and managing director Audrey Oswell says executives were surprised by the industrial action taken by the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union last Thursday, as she says a meeting between both sides was scheduled for that same day. In a statement, Ms. Oswell said the day of the labor activity, Bahamas Hotel Employers Association Chairman Russell Miller was scheduled to meet with President Darren Woods to sign off on 36 of 48 sections of the industrial agreement that have been mutually agreed upon by the union and the BHEA. Additionally, she says the labor action was particularly peculiar given that Atlantis waited more than 6 years for the union to present their proposal. The statement added that Atlantis does not believe that the labor action was justified or productive for the resort, their colleagues, and their shared goal of a signed agreement. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.